Welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from No Diet Babe. I'm a spiritual mindset coach and weight loss expert. If you are a spiritual babe wanting to up-level your life around your body, health, wellness, spirituality, law of attraction and manifestation, then this is the podcast for you. I'm here to give you the tools, teachings, and strategies to manifest the body and life of your dreams. As spiritual babes, we know to focus on love as opposed to fear. So get ready to learn how to implement spiritual teachings to weight loss, wellness, and your daily life, coming from a place of love and abundance. This is a celebration of how we can shift our inner perception of ourselves and watch our outer selves shift. You can become the best version of yourself, and I'm here to help. So let's get started. Hey babes, welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from NoDietBabe.com, and welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited to bring you today's episode. It's a topic that's been requested by one of my lovely Instagram followers. And also, if you do have any questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, or you have any episode requests, shoot me a DM at No Diet Babe in Instagram. So today's question is, do you think it's possible to defy science with manifestation and make the impossible possible? For example, is it possible to manifest, aka think my way into my dream body, by never exercising, not trying to eat healthy, and sitting on the couch and gorging on junk food all day? Can the power of manifestation be used to defy science in this way? So that's what I'm going to be covering for today. But I just wanted to first of all let you guys know that I am going to be running group coaching again. So group coaching is one of the most amazing, exciting experiences. I love group coaching. I've seen so many women transform through the power of group coaching and my Voxer support. And so it's something that I want to offer on a month-to-month basis, ongoing, because I've had so many people go through like 6 weeks or even 12 weeks worth of Voxer and group coaching sessions, and all of them are wanting to the biggest request I get is, can we do this for a month-to-month thing? Because I'm really enjoying this level of support. And a lot of my one-on-one clients as well, you know, whilst we're working together and whilst we're getting that support and they're able to, you know, tap into my energy, things really start to improve. And so I really want to offer a month-to-month basis group coaching, but I'm only going to be taking on people into the group coaching at various stages. So I'm currently going to be promoting the group coaching. There's only going to be a few spots and it's only available for the next few days. So we're going to start the group coaching sessions from next week, the Voxer aspect of the group coaching next week. So if you are interested in joining, check out the links that are offered in the show notes. Or go to nodietbabe.com/manifest group coaching. We're going to be doing all aspects of manifesting weight loss, from, you know, understanding why we develop weight issues, healing the trauma, healing inner child work, and healing the relationship to food. So that is the foundation of law of attraction and manifestation, is understanding the subconscious mind and understanding how our childhood and our life experiences actually change the brain, right? And because neuroplasticity, meaning we are able to change the brain. And that's how we change behaviors and habits, and that's how we change our reality. So that's really what we're going to be covering in this group coaching, and so much more. So I'm excited to get started with that. Okay, but on with the episode, you guys. So this question again is, can I think my way into my dream body by never exercising, not eating healthy, sitting on the couch and gorging on junk food all day? And here's the thing. This is my perspective on this, okay? And this is my perspective drawing on, years and years of like studying this stuff and my own experiences, is that never exercising, not wanting to eat healthy, and wanting to eat junk food all day are signs of emotional issues. Because from my perspective, why anyone who is really healed their trauma from childhood, obviously there's no such thing as perfection. I'm not saying once you're perfectly healed, you'll never have an issue ever again. Not like that, but through doing this work, in this way, and healing my relationship to food, I don't desire to gorge on junk food all day long, because I'm very connected to my body, and my body can't handle eating junk food all day long. And before you're like, oh, well, you must be different to me, keep in mind that the personality that you think of, oh, my personality is different though, Barbara. I do want to gorge on junk food all day long, and I don't think that's ever going to change. That's your conditioning. I had the same conditioning, right? I just was I couldn't stop myself from desiring junk food. It was the opposite. I just felt this allure towards junk food, right? That it was compulsive, I couldn't control it. And so now the opposite end is if I want junk food, I'll eat it. It's not a big deal. But I know that there's a limit, and the limit is not set by my brain. I'm not saying, oh, Barbara, you better stop eating now. Otherwise, you'll gain too much weight, or you've had too much sugar today, stop eating. I literally feel sick if I can't keep eating. My body says no, and I can't do it. I can't even force myself to eat if I'm completely done with that food. So if I've had some ice cream or whatever, there's always going to be a limit to how much my body can tolerate. And I believe that all of our bodies are like that. And the reason why I believe that is because when you look at the anatomy and physiology of the body, and you really look at the science of nutrition and our digestive system and how it all works, your body has its own inner calorie counter, right? And your body is so much smarter than you give it credit, right? Because it is designed to stop hunger when you've had enough food. When you've had enough to eat, there are meant to be mechanisms in place that stop you from eating, right? And that isn't just something that you're lucky if you have it. It's oh, she's lucky, she can stop. No, it's innate. It's part of our biology. It's in all of us. All of us have the same biological makeup, right? So you have that potential. It's that your conditioning, right, from whether it's all the way from childhood or more recent, whenever, your conditioning, most likely somewhere along the lines you've had trauma of some sort, and you've developed a coping mechanism where that coping mechanism overrides that innate ability to understand your hunger and fullness signals, and it's overriding that. And so you're not going to have, like, I believe that when we're like born, for example, before we have all of this conditioning, and depending on our conditioning, I believe that we do have a desire to move. If we don't desire to move our body, that's usually we're kind of like flattening or deadening ourselves, like depression, for example, or apathy. And by all means, like, I know what depression is like. I know that desire to not move your body. And I've been through that before. And I know that that's not, like, that's conditioning on top of it. That's not your true essence. Your true essence is wanting to live, wanting to, like, being happy and wanting to move your body, right? So I don't think it's a natural desire to never exercise. I think that exercise in the sense of the dieting mentality, where we have to force ourselves, is different to exercise meaning I'm exercising when I move my body in a way that feels good to me, which might not be the traditional sense of going to the gym. It could be anything else, right? Any form of movement of your body. Eating healthy as well, like, the more in touch I get with my cravings, not my emotional cravings, but my body's cravings, I crave healthy food. And that's not just, it is somewhat like, intuitive eating is one of those things where you care and respect yourself so much that you pay attention to how you feel, right? And when you don't feel good because you're eating a lot of junk food and you're not eating healthy, you care about that, and you notice, in contrast, when you eat healthy, how different you feel, right? That doesn't mean that you make a big deal about, oh, I've had junk food, so now I have to feel shit. That's like, I think that mindset really does come into it in that way, because you're going to have to be like, well, if I'm going to eat ice cream, there's no point in me making a big deal about this and being like, oh my God, now I have to feel shit because I had ice cream. It gets to be, you just get to choose and decide that it gets to work out and you get to feel good, right? But to me, this question and this perspective, I would question, why is that? Not saying that that's an intention of this person, but it's interesting that that question comes up, because to me, it's not the true essence of, like, being your highest self, right? So your higher self version of you wouldn't operate from this place of, I want to sit on the couch and gorge on junk food all day, like every single day, right? It might be something that you want to do occasionally, right? But it's not something, oh, I'm going to, like, I never want to exercise. Sure, there might be phases. I've spoken about times where I didn't desire to exercise, and it was one of the phases where I refused to exercise from this place of I should exercise or I have to exercise, and this dieting mentality. And then I was like, nah, not exercising at all until I can change this. And I finally, like, after cutting out exercise for a while, I finally wanted to exercise. I was like, I actually want to exercise now. And I just allowed it to come through me naturally, rather than be available for this pushing and this should energy of like, I have to exercise, I should exercise. So when you've lived your whole life from this place of needing approval from others, inability to make your own decisions, like AKA like me, like codependency type stuff that codependency, oh my God, is such a huge thing that I've been working on within myself. I can go on and on about it, but not right now. But I think that when you've spent your whole life trying to feel good by changing your body. You have tried to gain the approval from others by controlling your weight and controlling the way you eat. And you go through the notions of like following all that dieting advice, and you spent a long time or your whole life around this. I should do this. I need to follow what other people tell me to do. I can't trust myself. What does this dieting person say? What does that person say? How does she eat? Let me copy how she eats. When you've constantly spent your whole life searching for the answers from the outside, an inability to make your own decisions, like a lack of autonomy, complete dependency on others, I should eat healthy, I should exercise, I feel guilty when I eat junk food, I have so much shame around my body, I'm a terrible person. You are going to feel exhausted. Your relationship to exercising and your relationship to healthy food is gonna suck. So no wonder like you're exhausted and you just want to say, to hell with it all. Like, I just want to stop all of this. I don't want to exercise anymore. I don't want to have to eat healthy. I just want to break. I just want some freedom. I'm sick of this, right? But what you have to realize, that exhaustion is mental and emotional. And it's got nothing to do with food and your weight in itself. It's actually usually like it's all trauma response, right? It's this constant like shame struggle, the shame struggle and the codependency stuff that needs to heal. Like the inner child needs to feel validated and heard and loved and worthy and enough. And it's actually got nothing to do with food and the weight, but the food and the weight becomes the obsession, becomes the healing fantasy. Once I get to this weight, then I'll be confident, then I'll be happy, then I'll finally feel free, I'll finally be good enough. But that's actually the cycle in itself, is that never comes, that day never comes. Maybe momentarily, you get this euphoria because you see the scale go down, but it's never there permanently. And then you're basically on this cycle for years on end. So then the answer is not this superficial manifestation of, let me just think positive all the time. Let me just sit on the couch and imagine that it's all going to work out for me. It's actually healing your relationship with yourself and understanding that you get to form a relationship with yourself and get to know yourself and ask, what are my needs? What do I want to do? And when you truly start to tap into that and you truly get over all these shoulds and I have to's, you'll find that there is a part of you that just naturally desires to do those things, such as exercise and eat healthy. It is there, trust me. It took me years to find it, but it was there. And I was the opposite of that. I was like, not that I never wanted to exercise, but I was always pushing myself from an energy of should, right? And it can come from knowing that you love and respect yourself and you're going to feel better if you exercise, for sure. But if there's a desire to not move your body, it's usually coming from a place of either like depression or apathy, right? Not wanting to live, meaning just from self-observation, like if I want to stay inside and like not move my body, not do any form of movement of my body, it's usually coming from a depressed place or a low place where I have to get in touch with my emotions better. I have to connect to myself and connect to my needs, connect to my emotions, and form a better relationship with myself, as opposed to you lazy, stupid bitch, like go to the gym. Like you should go to the gym, like be more disciplined. You're lazy if you don't go. Whereas that's kind of the vibe that I used to have from the dieting mindset and like the weight loss industry, and it's fueled by shame. It's really, there's a lot of shame behind it. Oh, didn't you go to the gym today? Oh, that's no good. Oh yeah, I was a good girl today. Like I went to the gym. Like it's all shame driven, right? Oh, you were bad. You bad girl. You are eating junk food. And it's like, it's so common in society. It's like goes under the radar. We don't even realize how freaking toxic it is to say those things to people. It's not healthy. It's not forming healthy habits or healthy relationship to exercise and food to be like just pointing things out. Like, oh, you're a good girl. Oh, I was good today. Like I went to the gym. Instead of like, I just go because that's a part of who I am. Like it's just a part of what I want to do to live. Right? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. In terms of defying science, like I think that manifestation is science. Like everything that I do and the way that I'm able to maintain my body easily now versus when I struggled, all of it is actually science. It's just that my filters and my perception has changed. So now I can actually see the solutions easier. But the solutions are always there, and they're very, like, the people who know this stuff don't necessarily know manifestation, but they just know the science of it. Whereas I've noticed, like, when people have a really poor relationship to food, their perception of weight loss science is totally skewed. So it's still scientific, the way that I am able to maintain my weight. I just see the science of it very differently. And my perception matches up with my desires. So I know that my body can handle it. Like, I know that it's incredibly clever, and I can trust my body more than I should trust my thoughts and my head and my conditioning. And because when you have that true connection to your body, you're going to notice the subtle signals that it's designed to tell you of, like, I want to move, or I don't want to keep eating this chocolate anymore. I need to get up and get out of, like, I need to get off this couch and do something type thing. And I think that, well, looking at my own behaviors and why I would sometimes want to just sit on the couch, it's coming from that desire to dissociate, right? And switch off and numb, which has been and is still a huge thing for me. Because I'm still working on inner child stuff. I'm still working on trauma, healing trauma. So yeah, it is a process. It's not like an overnight thing. And although I've healed my relationship to food, there's other aspects of, like, especially codependency that I didn't even fucking realize, like, and especially in the last year, like, wow, have I done a lot of stuff around codependency, setting boundaries, understand why I attract certain people into my life. Yeah, there's so many layers to this. There is so many layers to this food and weight stuff. And I think that the food and weight stuff is just secondary to the original issues. And I think that the food and weight stuff just becomes this healing fantasy because our psyches don't know how to cope with trauma. And we develop coping mechanisms, and one of the biggest coping mechanisms is obsession with dieting, obsession with weight, obsession with food, obsession with self-image and gaining approval from others, etc., etc. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, because realistically, manifestation from my perspective is not about just being able to just sit around and do nothing and just have everything that you want. Like, yes, I think for me it's really easy and I can sit around and do nothing and not exercise and eat junk food and still maintain my body, but I didn't get there by not healing, if that makes sense. And there's only so much junk food that I can eat before I just do not want it anymore. Like, there's only so much pizza I can eat before I just don't want to look at another pizza ever again, like maybe for a few weeks, or I'll just have chocolate or ice cream and be like, I really can, like, I don't give a shit if somebody's eating it in front of me. Like, I don't desire it. And it's genuine. It's not forced. It's genuine. And that's coming from healing my relationship to food and trusting my body, which is a process because you've had years and years of conditioning in the other aspect of not trusting your body. So it's not an overnight fix. But like I said, my group coaching is here to help. I recently had an amazing testimonial from a girl who did my Emerge and group coaching, and she had 15 years worth of weight plateau. And she could not shift her weight no matter what she did. And she was trying everything, and she was working with so many different people and like doing like the personal training, she had counted calories, she's done all these different things, yet she couldn't lose the weight. And yeah, now she's lost I think 17 pounds. So it's really, really amazing what can happen when you shift deeper and do the deeper inner work. So yeah, come join me. I would love you to join me for the Voxer support and the group sessions. And yeah, we get started next week. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, I'd love for you to leave me an iTunes review. Don't forget to follow this podcast for more uplifting teachings to come. For more tips, inspiration, and teachings, come follow me on Instagram at NoDietBabe, or check out my website, NoDietBabe.com. Until I see you next time, babes, lots of love.